So actually, you have said that cryptocurrency is anonymous so that there will be drug trades or illegal weapon trades. But how do you explain that cash is also anonymous and it cannot be tracked?
Well, actually, first of all, when you use Alipay, well, Alipay knows.
We're saying about cashes, not Alipay.
Okay, there are security cameras, you know.
And what if like?
No, I mean, when you are doing a transaction, for example, on your bank account, the government knows, the bank knows. But with cryptocurrency, you're anonymous. Nobody knows.
I say cash, not bank accounts. Cash.
But with cash, you can't do much trading. Like, right? Like with money laundering, how do money laundering occur? They do it on the. They do it on the cryptocurrency. They do not do it on traditional money because they know the government can't track it, and they can't do money laundering with like paper cash because. Who needs to do money laundering for like $5?
You should try carrying a bag of cash without being spotted.
Also, I think it's time for us to ask you a question.
Okay.
In your speech, you said that when a natural disaster occurs, your storage is still on the cloud, but that the whole world, for example, the whole world knows that you have 1 Bitcoin, but you ain't getting it back. Nobody's giving it back to you.
Why? What do you mean?
Because you said that after a natural disaster, your record is still on the cloud. Yes, it is on the cloud. The whole world knows that you have 1 Bitcoin, but you are not getting it back.
Why aren't you getting it back?
Why aren't you getting it back? Because cryptocurrency is stored inside your account, and you just go randomly to another place where there is a public computer and there is a connection, and you can just simply get your money back.
Then how do you explain that with cryptocurrencies, when people are frauded, the government doesn't give the money back to you?
Because they are already given to others, but we're not giving money to natural disasters.
No, I mean that, no, I mean, when you say that a natural disaster occurs and your equipment is lost, it's lost. Nobody, like, the whole world knows that you have that much money, but nobody's...
I think you're misunderstanding the concept. The cloud doesn't belong to you. If there was a natural disaster occurs, you can buy another phone or go to another place. But what if you're mining? Then you will lose all your equipment. Don't you think so?
Losing all your equipment, that will be very necessary, but the thing that you created with those equipments will not be lost.
Yeah, but there is still a very big loss.
When there's natural disasters, your bank accounts, like when your bank cards are rushed away, and then the equipments you use like to produce these money stored inside this bank card, and your bank card and which is the result of these works are all gone. Well, but cryptocurrency, the result is still on a cloud.
And also today we're not debating about physical damage of your equipment. Yeah, but you're the one who brought it up, you know? The natural disasters.
I know, but you actually mixed up the concept. Because when you're scammed, okay, time's up. Thank you, judge. Thank you, opponents. How many prep time do we have left?
It's 1 minute 45 seconds.
Use it all.
Okay.
Judges, can we end our preparation time now? Like, no.
Yeah, you're referring to.
Okay. So our prep time is finished.
Yeah, you're
Okay. Judges ready? Opponents ready? My time starts now. So I'm going to use my final focus to summarize the main clashes of today's debate. So the first clash is about counterfeit, and you have said that the nowadays money like fiat currency is also very hard to counterfeit. But according to research, there is $17 million of counterfeit money that is now in circular in the American bank system. So which means that actually it's very easy to counterfeit. And with a technology growing up and up, if you just have to have the technology of the banks, you can you can have the counterfeit money. But with cryptocurrency, you cannot do that. So actually, we're comparing it, the difficulties, and actually, our points with more logic. So therefore, we should win this clash. And the second clash is about the security problems. So our opponents actually mixed up with the concepts, because your money being rushed away by natural disasters and you giving them away to criminals is not the same. You giving them is your own thing, but being rushed by natural disasters is forced to, and you must lose this money. So which means that they are two very different and distinct concepts. They actually mix up these two concepts, so therefore we should also win this clash. And also they have mentioned about corrupt governments. And actually, they say that there's only one Zimbabwe, one Venezuela in the world. And actually, we are talking about that we should consider about the whole human race. So actually, Zimbabwe and Venezuela and all the other people living under restrictions of cryptocurrencies should all be considered. All humankind should be considered. We are very falling close to our framework, so therefore we should always win this clash. We won all three clashes, so therefore we should win this debate. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
So how is
You have used only 30 seconds, 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
okay? So all of it.
Okay.
Can she start right now? Can I start right now? No, I said I'm pretty much ready.
Are you ready? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So
As the second speaker of the comm bench, I am now here to give my final focus. So there are a few main clashes of this debate. The first debate is about having connection to the world. And I think that we won this one because we define that having connection to the world also means having a very easy connection to the black market. And also, the second clash is about transaction fees. Well, we have mentioned about how transaction fees, well, they can easily get stuck, and it's very inconvenient. And our opponent completely avoided this question, and they did not answer us. And then the third clash is about counterfeiting money. Well, our opponents kept repeating that tech will grow, but actually that is a thing of the future. So actually, a few years later, you can vote for you can vote for the pro team. But right now, you have to vote for the con team because we're talking about right now. And I'm going to give an extended hypothesis right now. So what if the technology will grow? I think that the police's technology will also grow. So actually, we won this one too. And then the fourth one is about corrupted government. Well, the thing with corrupted government is, first of all, they just said Africa, but they didn't say which country inside Africa. And plus, we also explained that in the U.S., well, the dollar will be dethroned, and then the U.S. will no longer have its power, and it won't give sanctions to those really corrupted governments, which will lead to the more nefarious change of the corrupted governments. That means that it can harm their people even more. And then the fifth one is about the anonymity. They are talking about how you can track down all the crimes, but we're talking about how the crimes they cannot be tracked down. So I think that we should win this clash. And then the sixth one is about natural disasters. They're saying that you do not lose all the cryptocurrency in your bank account, but actually I think that you lose all of your equipment. And with the equipment, you can have a lot of fortune, which means you can have the fortune in the future. But without all of this, you can lose the fortune that you were supposed to own in the future. And according to our framework, which is security, I believe that we should win this debate because cryptocurrency, as we have mentioned, is not secure at all. Thank you.